Hi, a very good morning to all of you. Today we are going to discuss a discussion question. In this discussion question, two opposite arguments are there. The first argument is that the range of technology which we use at present is increasing the gap between the rich and the poor. The second argument is that it is causing the opposite effect. That means it bridges the gap between the rich and the poor. So discuss both views and give your opinion. And this is the question. So as far as this is a discussion question, in the body paragraphs, we need to analyze these arguments objectively in their viewpoint, in their angle. We need to say, and we need to analyze these things objectively, and we have to give our opinion and then conclude. So this is our plan. So first of all, we need to present the topic in the first particular sentence. In the introduction, we have said that it is a debate. There is an argument whether the range of technology which is used at present. So this is a very important focus, that is at present. So it is not dealing with the past and it is not dealing with the future. It is dealing with present. So whether the range of technology which is used at present is widening or bridging. So whether it is widening or whether it is bridging the gap between the rich and the poor. So the debate is whether it is widening or bridging the gap. Now, although mostly it appears to act in the second way, that is the second way in the sense bridging the gap. So it appears to act in the second way. It means it is making people closer, the rich and the poor closer. It appears to act in the second way. In certain cases, the gap is still seen widened. In some cases, you can see the gap is going widened. So this is what the thing is. So what exactly the introduction is giving you? The idea is very clear. The first sentence is the topic in a different form from the question. The second is the thesis statement which you are going to explain in the body paragraphs. So two parts are there in the introduction. The first part is the address, the topic address. The second part is the thesis, which we are going to discuss in the coming paragraphs. So when we go ahead and see the first particular paragraph, the reason why the former group opines that the disparity between the rich and the poor is increasing is because of the fact that the rich exclusively enjoy some technological preferences in the current scenario. So the rich exclusively enjoy some technological preference. So this is the reason they are using some technology by themselves. The poor are not able to do so. They are not going to enjoy it. So even in this world where the impact of internet technology is huge, so they are telling that we have made good progress in internet technology. Internet technology has a huge impact in today's society. Even in this particular situation, the poor is unable to dream of certain benefits which technology has brought to the world. This is what they think. A good example is in the field of medicine, where poor generally cannot access to certain procedures such as plastic surgery and organ transplant. So we have explanation is given. The first sentence we have the topic presented, because the first sentence we said that it is inaccessible. Poor still cannot access some of the facilities which the technology has brought. Now, the second sentence is the explanation. How is it? Even in the case of internet technology, it is not possible. Now the example is given, it's in the case of medicine, plastic surgery, organ transplant. Another example is there, space travel. So in these cases we can see that there is a widened gap between the rich and the poor. Now, when we go ahead with the next particular paragraph, nevertheless, those who oppose the aforementioned view highlight the popularity of the modern technology among the wider population when compared to the past. So we have the first particular sentence of the second paragraph is the popularity of modern technology among the wider population when compared to the past. In the past, the situation was different, and today the situation is different because we have more number of people using technology. Internet technology is there, which is most inevitable technology of the present world. So even though there are differences in the duration of its use and the types of gadgets. So now that the time the rich spend in front of the internet, or the time spent the poor spend, may be different, but they be using both both of these people, they have access to the technology. Sometimes the gadgets which they use may be different, but still both are using, irrespective of economic statuses, whether they are the rich or the poor, they can use this technology. Another example is the frequent air travels which the poor can make now, which was not in the case in the past. So it was not in the case in the past. In the past, poor people, they didn't make much more frequent air travels. They were not doing that. But right now, you can see the airfares is reduced, and common people, they are traveling by air to and fro in economic class, business class, whatever it is. So this is another example. So it was in the past, the air travel was made only by the rich. Right now, it is made by the common people, by the poor too. So we have the gap bridging in both the cases. In case of information technology, in case of air travel and other modes of transportation, we can see that. Now, what is your opinion in this case? In my opinion, more people would be using the existing technologies. And I believe in future, there will be fewer technologies which the rich would use exclusively. In my opinion, in my personal perspective, more people would be using existing technologies, and I believe in future there will be fewer technologies. Now, right now, you may have a handful of technologies which the rich may exclusively use for themselves. But in future, this number would reduce. This is what my opinion is. It means the gap between the rich and the poor will become narrower. Now, the conclusion: though there are some technologies which the poor can hardly access today, the gap between the rich and the poor is seen narrowed. Still, we can see there are some technologies which are exclusively used by the rich. Even in this particular situation, you can see the gap between the rich and the poor is seen narrowed, thanks to the fast growing technology. So it is seen narrowed. What is seen narrowed? The gap between the rich and the poor is seen narrowed right now. And we have the reason here. That's the fast growing technology. So technology is the reason it has bridged the gap between the rich and the poor. And this is what we have said in the conclusion. Even though there are some technologies which the poor can hardly access today. So we have examples discussed in the previous paragraphs there. So it is the summary of the body paragraphs. And that is the end of the explanation of this particular question. Thank you.